Welcome to Side Roads. I'm Carlos. This is a 2026 Genesis G70. It competes with an icon. So we are about to find out if it can. The Genesis G70 comes with a 2.5-liter four-cylinder turbo engine that produces 300 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers are very good. The engine comes paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission, and you can have the G70 either rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive in the US, but in Canada, it's only sold as all-wheel drive. The Genesis G70 competes in the compact luxury sedan segment against cars like the BMW 3 Series, which is an icon, the Mercedes-Benz C-Class, the Audi A5 that used to be A4, and the Lexus IS. And as you can see, they are all pretty competitive, but the G70 has a lot of power. The interior on the 2026 Genesis G70 is really nice in here. So all the materials are soft and extremely high quality and very well put together, and I love the combination of the materials. I love the switches, the design, the quality of it. It feels super expensive. We have two memory seats for two different drivers, and all windows are one touch up and down. The steering wheel comes wrapped in leather and is heated for this version, and the seats are heated and ventilated because we are in the top trim of the 2.5 turbo version of the G70. The leather feels super high quality. I love the design of the seats with this trim here and the quilted design with contrast stitching. The color is beautiful, at least in this particular model. The headliner is suede. It's just beautiful. Like the dashboard comes wrapped in leather too, and have this extra trim here. This portion is wrapped in leather. The trim around the shifter and the cup holders, it's also in the doors. Like the combination of the materials and the details, it is beautiful, and I can assure you it feels super, super expensive. We have an 8 inches semi-digital gauge cluster. There is an analog portion, and then the other half, or 70%, is digital, and you can configure that a little. All the messages from the car come there, and in the center you can also change the information that you see from the car. This is okay. I'm surprised that it's not fully digital, but it still gives you that function, and of course I love analog instruments, so I'm not going to complain about that. And then we have a 10.25 inches infotainment screen, and it's color, and the icons are big and easy to read, easy to use. It's pretty responsive, and all the functions from the car are here, of course, and you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wire. We have physical buttons here for some of the functions, especially to control the system, and a volume knob and a tune knob, and I like that. The air conditioning controls are here separated from the screen, so I like that. This is a little screen too. It's beautifully designed, and when you press it changes a little the thing that it does there, so it is really nice looking and cool and easy to use. And you have knobs for controlling your temperature up and down. I like this. There is a wireless charger here with an USB-C charging port, your electronic shifter that is somehow, similar to a regular shifter. I like that, except that you have to press parking function instead of using the lever, but it's really nice. 2 cup holders. We have a drive mode selector here, and we have Eco, Comfort, Sport, Sport Plus, and Custom. And it's pretty cool the way that the car changes that, and the center console is on the smaller side. The glove box is also on the small side, and we have a sunroof here. It seems bigger than the regular one. It's not a panoramic sunroof, but it's big enough, and you can still see the light in the back seats there. That is cool. So This has still a traditional design for the dashboard. Newer Genesis or the SUVs, let's say, because this is 2026, have a full screen here. If you ask me, I prefer the old school setup with the gauge cluster here and then the screen here. I like this setup. We'll see what Genesis will do with the G70 in the future. But to me, the story to tell here are the quality of the materials and how it is put together. It feels truly luxurious, like I haven't seen even in other luxury brands. So Genesis knows how to do cars, especially in the luxury segment for sure. So I fit behind myself, kind of. My knees are not, they are clear, they are not touching, super tight, but they are not touching. The seats are really comfortable. I also have a space for my height. There is an armrest there with 2 cup holders, there are USB-C ports and air vents. The seats are also heated for this particular trim. The access is a little bit tricky and there is very little space for under the seat for your feet, but you can still manage and fit, and I think it's okay. This class is not specific for big space on the back seats, but newer generations keep improving on that. The trunk I found a little bit small for the size of the car and for sedans, especially not only in the back seat, but in the trunk. Regular compact sedans that are not luxury have this amazing amount of space. I don't know what the luxury brands cannot do that with the same size of cars, but hey, it is what it is. I really like the G70. Fuel efficiency for the G70 is 11.7 liters per 100 kilometers city and 8.4 liters per 100 kilometers highway, which is 20 mpg city and 28 mpg highway. Safety features for the 2026 Genesis G70 are things like blind spot collision avoidance assist, blind spot view monitor, driver attention warning, forward collision avoidance assist, high beam assist, highway driving assist, lane keeping assist, and lane following assist. Price for the 2026 Genesis G70 starts in Canada around 56,000 Canadian dollars and goes to around 61,000 Canadian dollars. In the US, the price starts around 43,000 US dollars and it goes to around 50,000 US dollars. But let's remember, this is a luxury brand, a luxury car, and like any other, is based on packages and options. So the price will go up. So how to drive the 2026 Genesis G70 is super nice. I mean, this is a compact sedan on the luxury segment. Compact, I'm not so sure, but hey, that's what it is. It's a luxury sedan that competes in the BMW 3 Series segment. And it does a pretty good job. So the suspension is firm but comfortable. I like the suspension. And I think has some level of European tuning because this is not your typical soft sedan. So I like that. It feels tight, it feels composed, it feels stable. It feels like you can toss it around with no issue. It feels ready to be driven. I really, really like that. It does also a fantastic job dealing with the imperfection from the road. So there is pretty much non-transmission of vibrations on or anything to the cabin. You can feel the road, and because the suspension is firm, you feel that you are on a road. It's not a soft and muted sensation, which I really like, but hey, that's not for everyone. I think vehicles in this class are tuned more on the sportier dynamic side, except for maybe the Mercedes C-Class. But it's good. I like this. I think it does a a good job maintaining a little bit of sportiness while still giving you comfort and luxury. I guess that's the combination. The steering, it is also fantastic. It's so quick and precise, and there is a little bit of feedback there, and you really feel that you are, pretty much grabbing the wheels. It's supposed to be what the steering does, but there are some cases where all feels fake and all artificial. Here it feels almost like an older vehicle, and I like that. So also there is a feeling of safety while driving this car because of the steering, but also a little bit of sportiness there too. I really like the steering and the suspension combination here. The cabin is fairly quiet. I think there is a little bit more road noise than what I was expecting. So maybe that's something that could be a little bit improved, but it's not uncomfortable by any means. It's still pretty quiet and luxurious. It's just not the quietest car out there, especially in this class. So that's okay, I would say. Then we have visibility. Visibility is great. The windows are big. The windshield is massive. There is enough distance here. It feels spacious, and also because of this light interior color too, amazing. The back window is big. The mirrors have a pretty good size, and the blind spot is pretty small there. So it's very good on visibility. Sedans seem to be that way. I like everything here. You have a pretty good 360 camera too, a blind spot monitoring in case you need extra assistance for parking or doing, other stuff with your car. So that is good. The brakes I also really like. They feel strong and progressive and adequate for this car. This car can go. We'll talk about that, but I like the brakes. I like the bite, and they are immediate, and there is sort of connection feeling, everything here, like suspension, the steering, the brakes, it feels like very mechanical, and I like that. It doesn't feel like overly advanced or modern vehicle in a bad way, I'm saying, because that's, some of them are becoming so muted and, I don't know, artificial. In here, it's completely the opposite. It feels like an old school car, and I like that, and I'm also surprised about that. So I guess when they launched this G70, the formula was different because the newer Genesis models, the SUVs that I have been driving for the channel, they are different than this for sure. Then we have the transmission. The transmission is an 8-speed automatic transmission. So far have been doing a great job. It tends to upshift pretty quick, so if you are chilling, you will be in very low rev here, and it's fine. Probably will help you with fuel efficiency too, but if you floor it, it reacts quick enough, and I think it's a great combination with this engine, because this engine, it is peppy and it is fast. It's also powerful. It has a 300 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot. That's class leading, at least at the 4-cylinder level, and it's really, really good. You can feel the power. When you ask the car for more, it gives you more. Has an amazing passing power in the highway. Takes off from a stop with no issue. There is a little bit of turbo lag, but nothing like extreme or anything. Pretty much what you find in any turbo engine. But it's good. The engine feels really, really solid, and like it has all the power. It's not only in paper. It moves this car with, there is an immediate sense here of all the reactions from this car, including the engine, and I like that. I was really impressed with the engine because it's a lot. It feels like a 6-cylinder or something bigger and more substantial. It's a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, by the way, but it's really good. So if you are looking for a G70, there is also a sportier version with a lot more power on a 6-cylinder. So you have that option, but honestly, unless you are a car enthusiast or you really want a lot of power, you don't need that, because this one has a lot of power. The whole setup of this car, I think, is great. By the way, we are driving the 2.5 liter turbo, which is a lower version or entry level for the G70, and then you can get the sport version or the, bigger engine too, which is cool to have the two options, and it's also typical for this market. So it's really good. Now, this is a 2026 model, and I think, I'm not sure what is going to happen here. Genesis just did a global announcement and presentation for some vehicles. This was not showcased there. And I don't know, I mean, SUVs are dominating the market. I don't know what Genesis is going to do with this car, but it's good to have for now. It gives the Germans and the other luxury premium brands for sure competition and something to be aware of, and take a look at and make sure that their products are still competitive. I think Genesis was really intelligent, like putting all this power, for example, to separate it, to make customers at least look at the G70. It is great so far to drive. I really like it. In my humble opinion, the 2026 G70 is a very good all-around proposition from Genesis. It is competing in a really tough segment. It has a lot of good elements to do so. Maybe the price will be the aspect that will make you consider other options. And also, Genesis is not the most popular brand, but once you drive it, you may change your mind.